Okay, awesome.
Are you ready to let them in?
Yeah.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Resilient Journeys. We are going to get started in just a moment or two. So excited that you all are here. Thank you for showing up. Thanks for being on time. Thank you to our amazing panelists also for coming and participating and being vulnerable. So we'll get started really soon. Welcome. We're also live on Facebook, so you can see us here, you can see us there. We'll have it on YouTube later as well. So we'll get started in just a moment. Hope everybody has their drink, everybody's ready to relax and get some great information. All right. And just really quick, Nicole and Aisha, if you put yourself on mute just for a second, and when I pull you up, you can jump on back off mute, okay? And we'll get started in less than 45 seconds. Thanks everybody for joining once again. I love smiling faces. This is great. Okay, so it's time. Let's get going. It's evening actually. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Resilient Journeys. I'm excited that you all are here. I'm Brandy Muhammad. I'll share more about myself and my panelists very soon. But today, May 15th, we got an hour of power. And our topic today, as you can see, is sacred strength and charting the life course, resilience through self-care, community, and legacy. So I always like to just remind myself, and hopefully I can remind you too, just to take a deep breath, let it out, remembering that this is a safe place for us all. It's going to be an awesome journey, and I'm looking forward to sharing my amazing panelists with you all, sharing some great tools around charting the life course and more. So let's get going. Once again, welcome everyone. Once again, Brandy Muhammad, and I am a mom. I'm a solo mom of 3 amazing angels. I call them angels. You might call them something else. But, our oldest daughter is 30. We also have a 23-year-old son, and she just turned 20. I was about to say 19-year-old. She's actually 20 years old as of Monday. Say a solo mom because I'm a widow of 5 years. So I still say we because we still have amazing children. I am part of the Family Resource Network of Ohio, and is brought to you by the Family Resource Network of Ohio. You don't see Tracy, you see her amazing picture. She is our project manager. She's the one who's like, yes, let's go. Let's do this resilient journeys on behalf of Black and brown moms. There's Tracy. She's waving all the way out the country. She's amazing. She joined us anyway. So thank you, Tracy. Then we also have our amazing Erica. Erica's in the background as well. Erica is the person who is like our support person. She's young, she's vivacious, she has all the information. If there's any tools, any questions, boom, Erica is your girl. Look for her. I am an ambassador with Charting the Life course once again, and I also work for the Ohio Coalition for the Education of Children with Disabilities as an information specialist and also trainer. I got to remind myself to breathe a little bit. Once again, the Charting the Life course trainings are provided by the Family Resource Network of Ohio. And you see some of our funders with the community of practice for supporting families as well. Jump on when you can to frnohio.org, and that's our official hub for Charting the Life course. So you'll see all the tools, you'll see videos, information, stories about how Charting the Life course has impacted families in Ohio. So you may say, like, why are you doing what you do? Let's look at a video, and I can share more information about why we're doing what we're doing here. Give me 1 second. You love technology, right? And just for a second, it doesn't seem like it wants to work. Erica, are you able to help me?
Yes, what do you need? The video?
I'm just trying to click on the video, but it's not allowing me to hear.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna have to do my screen share then.
Okay,
So just give me 1 sec to pull the YouTube video up.
all right. I'll stop sharing. I told you Erica is the girl.
Maybe I'll be the girl today. We'll see.
It was embedded, but I might have hit something. So
You're good, I got it.
okay,
It's coming
awesome.
now.
And it's just 2 minutes on why we're doing the resilient journeys and the impact and the goal that we hope to make with Black and Brown moms.
All right, share screen.
Mhm.
Share sound, of course.
Well, greetings, everyone. My name is Brandy Muhammad. I'm excited to share an amazing series of events that we're having through Charting the Life course. It's called Resilient Journeys. Now, Resilient Journeys is for sisterhood, community, legacy, and inclusive belonging. It is for Black women, brown women, moms, sisters, aunts, everybody you can think of. Come to our series. Our series is 7 to 8 p.m. It'll be on Thursday evenings, the third Thursday of each month. Yes, you heard me right. May 15th is going to be our first series. It'll be on the topic of sacred strength and charting the life course. We'll be able to share and dive in more information about charting the life course and how it's the framework and how we as Black moms and solo moms and also single or married moms can learn more about charting the life course, working with our exceptional students and those who aren't exceptional. Now you may say, well, why would I do this if my child's not exceptional? Because you as a mom can use the same tools. You'll be able to see panel people to share about their journey with Charting Your Life course. We'll also have some tools that'll help be added to your toolbox. Great information. Got to be part of it. It's a monthly series. Just remember, it's every single month. Normally the third Thursday of each month. October, November, December, and January, it gets a little different. However, be part of it. You can come to the first series, you can come to all of them, whichever one you want. But please feel free to come and learn more about Charting Your Life course and the series that we're putting on. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Erica, so much. Appreciate you. So today what we're going to talk about once again is the mapping relationship tool. As you can see, information we'll be sharing. It's around support, right? And so when you think of support, you may say, oh, I have, my mom and my dad, my sisters, my siblings, my cousins, my family to help support me through this journey. But when we look at the mapping tool, relationship tool, we really dive in a little bit deeper and deepen those relationships, but then also create new relationships. When you have the opportunity to look at the mapping tool, you'll be able to download it as well. You can really speak up with confidence about it and how the support systems can help you in those support systems that you might not even know about, because it also has one of the columns on the end. It talks about what's next, or where will you go next with the information that you have. Reality, let's be clear, this mapping relationships tool is very, very sensitive, right? And you'll be able to see and hear from our panelists why I say that. For me, when I did it for myself, I really had to take, a deeper breath and think about it, because as a widow, I never thought that I would have to do it, without my husband, right? And then I realized when I did it recently, man, I have to think who else was going to help. Even though my adult children and young adults are, growing up and being independent, I still had to still work to deepen my relationships with family and friends to ensure that they can have their back when the time comes. So just my point is, recognize it's very vulnerable. When you do it, take your time. You'll see the different panelists and how they address the mapping tool and how they found value within it. And so let's continue on. This is what it looks like. As I said, we have the caring about, and that's our emotional. That's our emotions. That's the people who care for you, those who know you best, right? Those who have relationships with you,
Brandy,
those who, I'm sorry, yeah.
I think you gotta re-share your screen because you let Erica share your screen for the video, so we're not seeing anything
Oh,
right now.
okay, 1 second, let me get it. Thank you so much. All right, let me know if you can see anything. Can you see the mapping tool?
No, not yet.
Not yet, okay. Let me hit share again. Okay, you can see it now?
Yes, ma'am. Thank
You
you.
see that in your notes though,
Okay,
not the
Let's just-
slideshow.
yeah, there we go.
Oh,
1
now
second,
nothing.
I got it. Working on it. Okay, this is official. You can see it now, right?
Correct. You're good.
Thanks, ladies. I appreciate you. So once again, as you can see, the mapping relationships, it talks about caring about, that's the heart. That's the people who know you best, who love you, care for you. It could include your neighbors and friends, your chosen family, right? For me, my chosen family, in addition to the people that you see here, they're outside persons. They're not necessarily my biological family, but like Aisha, Lady Extreme Nicole, Brittany, I don't want to go down the whole list, but my panelists are also my support team. And so when I was able to actually fill out this, I put down who serves the role now, looking ahead, and then the next steps. It was difficult, but I did it. When we talk about caring for, that's those persons who are your support people. Those are the ones who get paid to do what they do, right? And so once again, you'll be able to see each person's mapping relationships tool and see how they put those pieces together and what it looked like. So this is Brittany. And so Brittany wasn't able to get on, but she actually did a quick video. So give me 1 second to pull up her video and you'll be able to hear from her. Unfortunately, you know, she's a mom. As you can see, she's a mom of two little people that have autism, and then her oldest has ADHD. And because moms are amazing, sometimes we can't always do everything we want to do. So today she wasn't able to attend, but she definitely sent her information and also the video so you can see it too. Link. I don't know if it's my patience or not. 1 second, just pull it up here. Oh no, you might not be able to see it. Erica, any help?
Oops. Yeah, sorry. Try using hit control and then hover over the link.
Okay.
And I think you got something I think you got something popping up. Hit the button control and then there should be some that pop, or just copy and paste it, honestly. Yeah.
Okay.
If you can just, yeah, highlight it all and then copy it.
I love technology. We had this all lined up before we got on.
Mhm.
Okay.
There you go.
Here's Brittany.
You might have to reshare it, Brandy, because I don't think you're sharing the sound. So you're gonna have
Okay.
to stop sharing, hit share, and make sure you check the box that says sound.
Okay.
And then you should be golden.
Sweet. Okay. 1 second. Expand my screen. Nothing yet?
No, you didn't stop sharing your screen yet.
Okay. It is on to share.
Oh, yeah, like I said, you gotta completely stop sharing your screen.
Oh, stop sharing. Okay.
Yeah, stop sharing completely.
All right.
All right, now share, but there should be a checkbox that says share sound. Did
Mhm.
you checkbox that?
Yep.
Okay.
A little bit about what
There
Can
we
you hear
go.
it?
legacy.
Okay.
Yep. This is very quiet.
I come from a Mexican American background. I am a mom.
Is your volume all the way up, Brandy, on your speakers?
Help families advocate for their
I can turn it
children
up.
with disabilities as a parent mentor in Putnam County. Legacy has always meant a lot to me. I grew up with a very strong family foundation, and my grandmother
There you go.
was really like the I'm lacking in, especially legacy has always meant a lot to me. I grew up with a very strong family foundation, and my grandmother was really like the matriarch of the family that helped keep us all together and helped us in learning our traditions and, you know, keeping those stories and passing them along. She passed away 20 years ago in 2005, and our family has felt a little scattered since then. My extended family, I'm talking about. I mean, I grew up with 14 aunts and uncles just on my dad's side. So, I mean, I remember growing up having a big community, um, and, you know, we all had one common goal, which was to celebrate our culture, whether that be through quinceañeras or, you know, our different wedding traditions, or, you know, just the different things we would do, like making tamales at Christmas, or, you know, it was something that we all had in common. And since she passed, we've really kind of scattered into these smaller communities, and we don't reach out to each other as much as we used to, which is interesting to me because, you know, as a mother of autistic children, I see so many of my cousins who also are having autistic children, and you would think that this common past would bring us together, but it really hasn't. So lately I've really been feeling a deep desire to reconnect with my siblings. And, you know, we don't have a bad relationship, but I think this tool really just helped me kind of see how important those sibling bonds can be, especially as our parents get older. You know, it's going to be up to us to continue to teach our children about the traditions of our culture and about, you know, our family's history. And I really want my kids to have that sense of closeness and unconditional support from their cousins. I want them to grow up with that, and I want that to be an important part of their lives. Filling out the Charting the Life course tool really helped open my eyes to the people in my life who love and support me, but it also shows places that I want to grow. It really helps you to see how intentional you have to be about the relationships that are in your life, because they're not just going to happen. You know, if you want to build something, build a community, you have to go out there and do it. And I kind of really noticed that about the bonds that I have with my siblings, because I want to make more space to connect with them, and not just out of, you know, something that we think we have to do, but because it's part of, you know, it's part of the community that I want them to be a part of my community. I want them to be a part of my life, and I want to be a part of their life, and I want us to be able to rely on each other. And they're the ones who know our family history and who know what it was like to grow up the way that I did, you know, and they know these different things. And I just think it's important for them to feel connected to their cousins and aunts and uncles, because that's what helped me feel connected to my culture, my traditions. I think as a mother of a child with disabilities, or children with disabilities, I've learned how much we really rely on community, and how important it is that we have a community that includes people who are like us. So, you know, Black and brown mothers who just get it, who just get where we're coming from, or get the little nuances of what we're going through. You know, support means everything and it's not always easy. But I really believe that when we lean on each other, we're not just surviving, we're building something that lasts. So legacy isn't only about honoring the past for me. It's also about creating a future that's rooted in love, culture, connection, and true belonging. And that's what I want to work towards every day. Not just in my relationships with my family, but in building a community that means something to me. So I really enjoyed filling out this tool. It really helped me see areas that I'm lacking in, especially, you know, I haven't spent a whole lot of time teaching my kids about my culture or about the traditions that we had. They don't have the same childhood that I had, where we were so deeply rooted in that culture that it just felt like we always had this great big family that was always there for each other, you know. And we did for a while. It kind of fell apart. And you know, I want my children and myself to be able to build something like that, and to have something like that will carry them through life. You know, I don't think it benefits anyone to be kind of this hermit person who just, you know, I can only count on myself, me, myself, and I, you know. It's so important to build that community. And even if it's not as big as, you know, you hoped it would be, still finding those people who click with you and who really understand what you're going through is so important. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to fill out this tool. And I hope that you guys or anyone else can find some benefit in it. That's all I have for now, but thank you.
Brandy, your microphone's off. And you guys share your screen.
There we go. I just want to say once again, thanks, Brittany, for sharing. We'll jump back into the PowerPoint in just a second. Let me stop sharing here. Hopefully you guys gained some information. We're going to talk next to Aisha. She'll share her tool in just a moment. Let me get the PowerPoint pulled up again for us so she can share hers. Okay, there we go. And so for Aisha, she's a friend of mine, and I asked her to be part of the panel. She's an amazing mom. She's a sister, a friend. The list can go on and on. As you see, Aisha is, you know, her profession is social emotional learning. She is also, like I said, she's a mom. She's let's see. She's like in the sandwich generation, if you guys have heard of that, like the club generation. She's a mom. She takes care of her younger children, but then she also takes care of her mom and dad. She has lots of information to share. So I'll stop talking so she can tell you about herself, restorative practice. She's also, I did tell you also stop sharing, but let me just tell you one more thing. She is fluent in Spanish. If anybody needs help with Spanish classes, talk to Aisha because she's amazing. All right, Aisha, get off of mute. Please share about yourself and also your mapping tools.
Greetings, everyone. My name is, first name is Jeanette. That's where the J comes from, Aisha Wilkes. My parents named me Jeanette after my mother. Her name is Jean, but never a day in my life did they ever call me Jeanette. So Aisha is the name that I identify with most. I am a mom, as Brandy has said, a mom of 4. My oldest is 23. My oldest daughter is 23. My second daughter is just turned 21. My only son is 17. And my baby daughter is 11. My oldest and my youngest are my my babies with exceptionalities with ADHD. And so in looking at this mapping tool, it was an eye-opening kind of situation to really see in my relationships how much obviously do pour out to be able to care for my children and my parents. My mother lives at one point, both my parents lived with us. Um, and this was another kind of wake up call with like uh, you know, the additional need for additional assistance with being a caregiver. Unfortunately, we had a house fire in April of 2004 that happened because my father with um, Alzheimer's and dementia was in one of his sundowning stages. And so um that was an eye opener for me. Now he lives in a assisted living over on Carl Road in their memory care unit. But that was a moment in my life where it just that eye opening situation where we had him for 7 years, and with the help, even with my kids and myself and my cousin and my mom, like we're only human, right? And so I needed to have him in a safer environment where him and everyone else around him would be safe. And so going through that process was hard, and feeling as if I had failed in some way. um it was having to deal with, and when we talk about that self-care that we all need, having to deal with that loss of that responsibility of my father and putting him in assisted living, and then the grief and the loss of my house, and then the grief and the loss of me feeling like I wasn't enough. And so when we talk about self-care, we also think about mental health, right? And so I it was necessary for me to make sure that my mental health, my mom, all my kids, even though my two older girls weren't in the house, it was still a loss for them. So I made sure that going through my employee assistance program at my job through Columbus City Schools, I was able to make sure that everybody had free sessions available to talk through the loss. And we lost our two cats in the fire as well. Um so just looking at this tool just made me realize how much I rely on myself for a lot of support. I don't really it did, I mean, I could have, I guess, like advocate and support life decisions in that who serves in that role now as a paid professional. I could have very well put my therapist right there as I think of more about the paid people that could be helping me. I could put there my dietitian. I could put there my chiropractor. I guess just supports and advocates for my health, my mental health. And it's a bunch of doctors at this point in life because unfortunately we breaking down as we get older. But definitely on the path of rehabilitation and healing. Some of the other things that are really helpful for me with my self-care is yoga. Yoga is super duper important for me for my wellness, whether physical, whether it's mental. The thing I love so much about yoga is that it's so varied, right? You can have your yin yoga where you're stretching and you're restorative and you're stretching out your muscles, or you can get into the power yoga where you're going through rigorous flows and you're working up a sweat. So it's a practice for me that's easy to cater to how my body is feeling, to know that I still got some movement in regardless of how strenuous or how relaxing it may be. Movement is movement, right? And Brandy and our dear friend Jerica reminds us about how much movement is so important in our lives, and whether it be 20 minutes of yoga, 5 minutes of a walk, just making it intentional. Standing up at work, marching in place behind your desk, like just those intentional movements for our health and well-being, for our additional self-care. Other areas of self-care that are that help me out is just be able to be social. Going out with my homegirls for lunch, doing activities at church, with my church family. Those are things that help to create a sense of belonging and a sense of unity and community, where you're able to realize the people who are around you that you're able to actually rely upon, to assist you with your everyday life. Um, my last kind of area of self-care, I can't say last, but one of my many areas of self-care is making sure that I immerse myself into nature, right? During the winter time, it's a little more difficult because obviously it's cold, but it's still important for me to get outside at some point, even if it's making sure I take an extra couple of breaths as I'm walking from my house to the car, to just in the wintertime, just to have appreciation for the change of season and the season that it is in the moment. But taking walks, and definitely being around water and waterfalls is super duper important for me. Hayden Run Falls is probably my favorite falls, within a 30-minute drive right here in Columbus. It's actually like in Dublin. Beautiful, um, beautiful short walk down a couple of flights of steps, but truly worth it. It's just a time where I'm able to meditate, feel at one with God, with my Ori, with the universe, with the Holy Spirit. Like it becomes a meditative, spiritual, grounding experience, if you will. So those are some of my self-care tips that I've shared with you today. And this mapping relationships tool just really helped me to look at my relationships, look at my role in my relationships, and who cares for me and who I care for, and how much sometimes even with me caring for myself, with that self-care, um, we still do need sometimes that outside assistance with professional help, whether it be medical or mental health interventions. Thank you all so much for listening, and I appreciate you greatly.
Thank you, Aisha. I really appreciate you. I do have a couple questions for you, so give me 1 second to jump back over to you. And
Yeah.
as you can see, I added myself to the mix. I think you forgot my name, but it's okay. I did it for Lady Extreme too, but don't worry about it. My picture's there because I'm part of your support team.
Okay. I was wondering, like, okay. But yeah, yes,
This is love
definitely are
here.
part of my support team. And yes.
Yeah, just over the phone. If nothing else,
Yes,
we'll have lunch sometime soon.
yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So this is, I have a variety of questions. Of course, we don't have time to answer for you to answer all of them, but if you could pick one, could you pick one and just kind of expound on it? We have about 3 minutes for your answer.
Um, I'll go with the last one in regards to what gives me hope about the future of resilience for the next generation of Black and Brown mothers.
Mhm.
Um, programs like this give me hope in regards to helping to build resilience for our Black and Brown mothers. Being just having the support that Black and Brown mothers need, with programs like this, and being able to build a network of resources and Black and Brown mothers that need those resources and get those connected, definitely gives me hope for the future, to help Black and Brown mothers to be more resilient with building community, and helping to build their self-care routine to be able to advocate for themselves and their family.
Thank you so much, Aisha. Thanks for being vulnerable and sharing your mapping relationship tool with us, because it's not easy. And as you can see, it takes time, but you also can see where you need some additional support. And like we talked about earlier, just deepening those relationships. So thank you again, Aisha. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so we got next, Lady Extreme Nicole. You see her bio here as well. And just one thing about her is she's an amazing mom. She takes care of her children. She'll tell you a little bit more about herself, but she's funny, right? She has a monthly gospel fest, a gospel comedy show that she does the last Monday of every month. You got to attend. I mean, it's all fun. It's nobody talking about you, oh my gosh, and saying all these crazy words. She just brings love and laughter to everybody. So let me introduce you to Lady Extreme Nicole. She'll share more about herself and why, and talk about her tool as well. But let me just give this disclaimer. Aisha, also Brittany, and also Lady Extreme, there's their bios. If you want to connect with them more, learn more about them, have more conversations, because community is what we're all about. Reach out to them, reach out to me, and I'll make sure I give you their contact information. All right, Lady Extreme, you're on. And here is your
Can we share the first one, my self-care, or do you want me to talk about mapping first? What do you want me to do?
You can do your self-care. I'll jump back.
I mean, or I can do, well, whatever you want to do. Okay, so for, because Aisha kind of spoiled me in that space, so I decided to follow her lead. But
Okay.
when it comes down to self-care, I am author of 6 books, and I think that a lot of times you got to take time out to fulfill what you think your purpose to do. Being a mom, I have 3 children that are absolutely amazing. I have a 20-year-old, a 18-year-old, and a 15-year-old. My 18-year-old will be 19 on Monday. And he is my genius with autism. I am also with a mobile disability and deal with serious concussion, brain injury. So I am, just finding ways to push through that. As you see, my self-care chart is the way that I can communicate. I saw, great written words, but I said, I got to use pictures. So I have prayer time. I am at the age where taking a nap is necessary. I take a nap sometimes in the middle of the day. And also I, have wonderful people around me, and I am a superhero fanatic. So I love all the DC, Marvel, and Star Wars shows, because they are usually showing people who overcome great challenges. So that's what I like to do in my self-care. And I have 1,000 other things to do, but I will go back to the other chart so we can talk about mapping, because I know time is of the essence. I did my mapping chart from a place of pictures. When it talks about who cares about me, one of the things that Aisha had is me, myself, and I. Well, in the first, who cares, who serves in this role now? Of course, I have myself, my daughter, myself and my friend, and myself and my husband, because love and sharing affection and trust, you have to begin to start with yourself. And that's one of the things that I have gathered, that sometimes being a mom, you just give. The kids get older, and then they run off and do stuff, and you're kind of like, oh, okay. And sometimes you completely forget about yourself. So this mapping kind of allowed me to focus. Who I spend time together and create memories really is my family. So that's the picture there. And next steps, people who know my personal interests, my traditions, and my culture. I am a very huge events-driven type person. I communicate with a lot of people, but I want my circle to get more connected. And this mapping relationship has caused me to try to look at that. Brandy, I'm glad that you said you added yourself, because sometimes you don't know who to add or who to ask, if it's okay to add them. I look at you as a dear friend. I've shared personal stories with you. And so in this mapping relationship, it really kind of causes you to, when you're a public personality, it causes you to deep down dive on who can you really call on and lean on during the times of the most needed moments, which is if something happened to you. Do you have the things in place that's necessary for your family to know, hey, I could call this person, I could talk to this person. So now the other side is caring for. Who serves in this role? Well, support my day-to-day needs. My daughter is probably someone that I that cares for me, helps me in a lot of areas, but I have to grow that space. That was one of the things I was just like, because I don't like leaning on my children. I am a huge person that don't do that. But my daughter's the kind of person, if I leave, she jumps in the car. She don't care if I'm doing an event, she's at the event with me. If I'm, so she's someone that I had the tendency to lean on, but in the same token, she's still young. She's only 20. So I want to make sure that when her wings fly, I have someone around me. So I have to really dive deeper in this space. Looking ahead on caring for ensures material and financial needs are met. My son brings a disability check to the house. And because of that, we've been able to survive during the pandemic. I mean, being a full-time entrepreneur, it was like I was thanking my son every day. I was like, I know you're a genius and you're incredible with computers, but we would not survive without you. So I had to find some other I have, since being an entrepreneur, found other resources, but being more intentional about the resources space so that I'm not leaning on him so heavily. But I had to be honest with myself. I do lean on my son's income very much when it comes down to certain things, because I know that that's that consistency. Anybody in the area of entrepreneurialism know what I'm talking about. You have some days where you're throwing money out the roof, and then you have the other days where you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. So anyway, the next steps, connecting with meaningful relationships. What this part was to me is people who connected me with different resources and services, and people who have been in my life that have helped me along my entrepreneurial journey, but also those people that I can lean on about personal things when it comes down to business, finances, how to go about going to do things, which is needed and necessary. And so that's what I put in that place. But it's a much bigger, there's much more people in that space. And then lastly, but not least, in my mapping relationships, advocates and support life decisions. Two of the people on here, all three of them are very personal when it comes down to insurances, making sure that I have insurance coverage for my children, myself, my family, and also a will in place. So I have an attorney here and 2 insurance agencies, because when you have a disability and when you have a child with a disability, you really want to make sure that if anything happens to you or anyone in your family, that there's insurances in place so that your family can take care of. And that's one of the things that I know that our community usually have a tendency to forget about, usually all kinds of communities, and it's really time for us to kind of buckle down and realize there's one day that we will be gone. So that's my caring and sharing and my mapping relationships tool that I realized that I need to dig deeper. And this session has really caused me to look into that. And Brandy, your picture going to be on next.
All is well. Listen, ladies, I really appreciate you. Lady Extreme, I do have a question or two for you. You can see those here. The first question is around, of course, heroes, right? Because you are all about Marvel. So if you want to take on that one, what's your superhero trait? Or you can take any one of those questions. Feel free to answer, because we would love to know. But thank you again for sharing and being vulnerable, because you didn't have to. So thank you.
One of the I have so many brands. I'm not gonna be on here all week. I've been into Marvel, DC, and Star Wars since probably it came out, because I'm a 1970s baby. And what I've noticed is that we all get excited when people overcome tremendous obstacles. And so a lot of times when you see your Wonder Womans, your Supermans, your any Avengers, anything like that, and when we see a huge obstacle come in their way and then they overcome it, we get excited. It gives us a level of adrenaline. And a lot of times when you're in the entrepreneurial space, and then also when you're raising an exceptional child, where my son, because of my son's disability, caused me to accept my own and not be ashamed. That's something that it helped me through. So that's the superhero part that I want to just share with everybody. Understand that you have the resilience and the opportunity to overcome, and put stuff in your spirit and watch things that you see people overcoming greatness, and listen to people, and please have a prayer life, because it's just necessary so you can overcome great obstacles.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate it. Listen, a couple reminders, couple things to note. Just remembering that with Charting a Life course, we have lots of tools, right? You go to the Family Resource Network of Ohio. You can also go to lifecoursetools.com. These tools are interactive, of course, but they're also tools that you can pick up today. You can pick them up tomorrow, like the Mapping Relationships tool. That's not just for today, right? So Lady Extreme, also Aisha and Brittany, they're going to look back at it maybe tomorrow, a month from now, maybe even a year from now. And for Aisha, instead of just talking about, her being me, myself, and I, she might have some additional names that she can throw in there. My whole point is the tools can be used at different times, but always figure out why you're using the tool, right? And so for my friends, my family that I've asked to participate today, I asked them for a reason. Why? Because I know that life happens. And so with the realization that life happens, and everyone who was on as the panelists have children. And so just to make sure that they start looking at some ideas and thoughts around what's the next steps, what's going to happen after this for themselves and also for their children and their partners and their husbands or wives, etc. They can have some plans. That's the beautiful thing about Charting a Life course. It's for everybody. I'm really grateful that we are able to have this space around for us as Black and Brown moms, because once again, it's for everybody. But many times when we don't see us in the room, we're not always game or wanting to participate or wanting to learn about different things that are offered. So I really want to say thank you to Tracy Mans. Thank you to Celia. You didn't get to see her today. She's out around Phoenix. Tracy's out the country. Erica's here in Ohio with me, thank goodness, because everybody else is gone. But really appreciate each and every person. The tools, once again, can be used for any purpose, but you got to know why you're using them. For this one in particular, it can be used for a planning meeting. You can have a family powwow. Let's have a conversation. I'm telling you, almost 6 years ago, I would have never thought my husband was going to transition. I thought we was going to live together forever, die, and have a good day, have our good life, right? So realizing that my reality is different, I'm going to go back with my planning tool, with my mapping relationships, and have a conversation with those adults. What's our next steps? I know that you see me, right? As Aisha and also Lady Extreme talked about, it's all mom. Okay, moms need a break too. So in that break time, let's see who else in our community, our chosen family, our chosen friends who can help support us through this journey that we call life. Remember and help to advocate for things that we need. And last but not least, family members, other team supports can help you find, will help you with the tools and definitely maintain relationships and also deepen those relationships as well. And our series is every third Thursday. So we have July, August, September, October, the third Thursday of each month. Different topics, different tools that we'll be using from Charting the Life course. We'll have different panelists. We might have the same. They might come back again. We just have to see. November, December, and January, that'll be the second Tuesday of the month. And you see those dates are a little different. Of course, November, because what else, our holiday season's coming, so we don't want to do it the third. In December, same thing, holidays. And then January 15th would have been my mom's birthday, and she transitioned almost 3 years ago. So I was not playing with y'all, crying all the time and trying to talk about Charting a Life course together and community conversations on the 15th. So I chose to make it on the 8th. Once again, please feel free to jump on the Resilient Journey train so we can all participate. Last but not least, these are free trainings, free offerings, free series. Please take the time out to fill out the evaluation. Take a screenshot, go to frnoohio.org, learn about the resources with the Family Resource Network of Ohio, share with your family and friends, invite somebody else to the next series that we're doing. Once again, that's in June. They're every month. We appreciate you guys coming. Once again, thank you to all the amazing panelists. Thanks for being vulnerable. Thanks for just being willing to share. I asked and they were all like, yes. Nobody said, oh, Brady. They didn't even know what the mapping tool was. I was like, hey, do this. And they were like, now, here, looky here, Brandy. I'm gonna do it with some deep breaths. And they did it in their own way. And so I really want to appreciate each and every one of you. We did start like 2 minutes late, but I promise I'm gonna give you your time back because we do end on time for sure. Lady Extreme Nicole, listen, Aisha, Brittany wasn't able to make it. I thank you guys very, very much. Thank you to the not the presenters, but thank you to the audience who were able to attend. Those who get to watch it later, we appreciate you too. Once again, Tracy, Erica, Celia, love you ladies. Thanks so much. And God bless and have a great day. See you guys next month with Charting the Life Course. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.